This is From Destruction to Dignity with Janice Pons. Each week, Janice shares her wisdom to enlighten, educate, and advance the culture in America today. Janice Pons is a mother, author, and free thinker, and your host for our podcast this evening. Now let's join your host, Janice Pons.
Greetings, greetings, greetings. Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Janice Pons. I am the host on our podcast here, From Destruction to Dignity, Clinical Perspectives, Spiritual Truths. We're going to continue our path that we've been on together. What an amazing path that we've been on as we are exploring together various facets of our country, how it's supposed to work, how it's structured. Our flag behind us is a great symbol connected to our amazing nation. And this seal is to remind us of the importance of praying for the president of our nation. We're continuing to pray for the 265,900,000 working Americans who were living paycheck to paycheck in 2024, barely making ends meet. I want to talk about them because they've got a lot that they're coming through. Things are improving. And based upon a lot of these economic deals that the president is making and companies investing billions of dollars in our economy here in the nation, there are going to be some great jobs that people will be getting. I know right here in Oklahoma, in the Tulsa port of Inola, it's going to be the largest aluminum plant in the nation, and the starting salaries will be $80,000. So can you imagine a household, two people from that household making that together? That's not a bad paycheck. So we're believing that people are coming out, and the eyes of people's understanding are being enlightened as they are realizing more and more that this thing is turning around. 79% of Americans last year felt the country was going in the wrong direction. We spoke loud and clear that we wanted to do something different. We had our election. We have a duly elected president who is busy working on our behalf. I've repeatedly say, who needs to be the leader? We know who it is, what's at stake. We've identified many things that are at stake. And there's someone different in the White House, and we're going in a totally different direction. So tonight, we're going to examine something that has generated a lot of discussion in our nation, our national interests. So when people hear that, when I used to hear that, the country's national interest, that sounded boring to me at one time in my life. Not anymore, because I understand it now. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, but in all thy getting, get understanding. So once I got a perspective and understanding about the seriousness of our national interest, whoa, my eyes were opened at an entirely other level. So what are our national interests? Does it even matter what it is? Many of our fellow Americans, they're just totally clueless about the scope of our national interests. Now, all this ties directly into our clinical perspective, which is safety matters. That's directly connected to our national interest, safety. Some don't even understand the concept of the national interest and how their very lives and the safety of them and their families are tied into that. So let's explore that together, my fellow Americans and my brothers and sisters. Remember, we're going somewhere, and it's expecting us when we get there. Come and go with me. Our national interest represents a sovereign state's core goals and ambitions, encompassing various aspects like security, economic prosperity, and cultural preservation. Just remember that: security, economic prosperity, and cultural preservation. These interests guide a nation's foreign policy and decision-making, influencing its actions on the international stage. Now, we have people that are so distracted, they can't even see anything beyond what's going on in their mind that may be in an absolute tailspin. They don't realize that our president and the cabinet and his cabinet thereof, and even as citizens, we need to be keyed into those things. We definitely need him to be keyed into our national interests. Our national interest was so off base. The previous 4 years, it was asinine. So stick with me. We're going to frame some things here. So I repeat, our national interest centers around security, economic prosperity, and cultural preservation. Now think about the challenges presented to us and what we had been going through, and that was a threat to our nation. Think about all those three areas, how it directly was related and tied into illegal immigration. Security, illegal immigration. Economic prosperity, illegal immigration. Cultural preservation, illegal immigration. Now, let's elaborate. Let's look at a definition. Our national interest is a multifaceted concept representing the overarching, all-encompassing aims and objectives of a state, often viewed as the interests of its government. What are the components? It's typically inclusive of aspects like security, like I said, which is protecting the nation from external threats and ensuring its survival. Then there's economic prosperity, which involves enhancing the nation's wealth, trade, and economic growth. Now, you know that Donald John Trump has been locked down right there. Then there's cultural preservation or social well-being, which involves promoting the well-being of its citizens and fostering a stable society. So was the focus on our well-being over the previous 4 years? Did we have a stable society over the previous 4 years? Now, let's look at some examples. The United States prioritizes national security, regional stability, economic prosperity, and the protection of American citizens, both at home and abroad. For the 3 years prior to the election in 2024, were our national security, our economic prosperity, and protection of American citizens a priority? Pause. Think about it. Be intellectually honest. Use basic logic and deductive reasoning and come up with an answer. Anyone who stops the pattern of denial, I'll talk about denial, D-E-N-I-A-L, don't even notice I am lying. D, don't even N, notice I. All right. A for am and L for lying. D-E-N-I-A-L. Don't even notice I am lying. So we were dealing with debacles left and right. A couple of weeks ago we dealt with the debacle of the airline industry. We were 3,800 air traffic controllers short. We had 1,000 who had completed school, automatically would go in a pool. And overnight, the Biden administration took them out. Why? They were white and they didn't meet a DEI requirement, the descriptors thereof. So they were discriminated against because they were white Americans based on DEI. So we talked in detail about how this was connected to flights being canceled, delays, all these dramatic presentations we were presented with. Got to deboard the plane, go to another gate, all this. These were, the crew didn't show up. Listen, they were presenting all kind of things to us to cover up that debacle. Oh yeah. All that ties in to our security. Our national security had been threatened. Let's take a closer look at some specific dynamics to dissect things that are worth our attention. Now, charges have come amid the Trump administration's visa crackdown. The criminal charges come amid growing tensions between the United States and China over the Trump administration's visa crackdown on Chinese international students. The Trump administration has ramped up deportations and we're talking about our national security, we're framing some things here. The administration ramped up deportations and targeted international students as part of wide-ranging efforts to fulfill its hardline immigration agenda. In late May, Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced that the United States was going to start aggressively revoking visas of Chinese students. Now, there was a reason why. And people said, well, they sending people out. Well, hold on. Let's frame this thing. So in May, there was an aggressive stepping up, if you will, of revoking visas of Chinese students just days after President Trump demanded the names and countries of international students from Harvard University. The U.S. Department of State began to work with the Department of Homeland Security to aggressively revoke visas for Chinese students, including those with connections to the Chinese Communist Party, or they were studying in critical fields. Rubio made that announcement at the end of May. No, we're talking about our national interest and somebody needing to pay attention to this stuff. So Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, added that the State Department will revise visa criteria to enhance scrutiny of all future visa applications from the People's Republic of China and Hong Kong. Now, listen, I'm telling y'all this right now. People, you can get in your feelings if you want to, and all this, and we got to stick together. And they were telling Black Americans, we got the black and the brown. We all got to stick together because this is a lie. They're gonna be shipping black people out next, and you have black people that. Ricky Smiley and all these high-level influencers, that this is what they've been saying on their social media platforms, and people were taking it hook, line, and sinker, that we as citizens of this nation were going to be deported out because they were focusing on the brown and the black people. Oh, my God. So if we don't monitor who's coming in our nation, and these foolish people were talking about the ones that were there, us that are already here, they were going to send us, we're going to be next. Boy, what a warped mentality. See, that's that propaganda. That's that propaganda that they feed us, and they want us to believe the lie, and many do. Wake up. If we don't monitor who's coming in our nation, could that be a setup with dire consequences? The move is part of the Trump administration's ongoing feud with the Ivy League University in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Dynamics have evolved into a federal judge saying she planned to issue a longer-term halt on the administration's effort to bar Harvard from enrolling international students. Now, see, they don't give you the whole big picture. They don't give you context. They'll just say, Trump is getting rid of people and just sending them out. Context is important. Harvard previously called the federal government's action unlawful. They said it was unlawful and said the school was committed to educating foreign students, of which Chinese nationals form the largest group at the university. While the mainstream media is hollering that Trump is equated to being a dictator and is barring Harvard from enrolling foreign students, they refuse to provide the full context. Context My fellow Americans, my brothers and sisters, the naysayers, everybody, anybody that can hear and can reason. Context is everything, which is purposefully kept from we the people. So, why the concern? Things escalated at Harvard related to charges against 2 Chinese researchers. Also, there was the detainment of a Harvard scientist, Professor Petrova. Hold on, Petrova. I'm mispronouncing it. Petrova. A Russian national who was charged, Professor Petrova, a Russian national who was charged for allegedly attempting to smuggle non-living lab samples into the United States. Now, why are you trying to smuggle something in here? Remember with COVID, they were talking about the bats and the infected thing. We had 1 million Americans that died as a result of COVID-19, over 1 million. Why would someone want to be smuggling something in here? At first, this person, Professor Petrova, denied having it at the TSA, at the airport. She denied it and later admitted to what she was doing. So why are you lying? Petrova has sued the Trump administration for her months-long ICE detention. There are just some things you can't bring into the nation that may be related to viral concerns being brought in. We're talking about our national interests. We're talking about our safety. Why are things like this important? Do we need somebody paying attention to it? Yes, we do. Well, we had a previous administration, they were just bringing them in. They would get paroling them out of prison, guys, out of Cuba, Haiti, Venezuela, and Nicaragua. Bringing these people in, all to fulfill their Marxist socialist agenda. True story. Now, let's look at Detroit. Federal prosecutors accused 2 Chinese scientists of smuggling into the United States a dangerous fungus that causes a disease in crops, so that one of them could research the pathogen at the University of Michigan laboratory. Oh, so they wanted to smuggle this in. Goodness gracious. So, this scientist GN 33 and Liu 34 are charged with conspiracy, smuggling goods into the United States, false statements, and visa fraud, according to a criminal complaint filed in U.S. District Court in Detroit. The complaint, affidavit, and other documents will unseal June 3rd. The 2 researchers were in a romantic relationship start in July of 2024 when Liu entered the U.S. with small bags of Fusarium graminearum in his backpack. According to the complaint, Liu later admitted that he planned to use the fungus for research at a laboratory at the University of Michigan, where the other suspect worked. Both of them had researched the pathogen as university students in China. According to the complaint, the fungus, which scientific literature classifies as a potential agro-terrorism weapon, can be used to target food crops, the affidavit states. Do we need anybody paying attention to these types of things, my fellow Americans and my brothers and sisters? Trump is locked down on it. Oh, yeah. The toxic fungus causes head blight, a disease of wheat, barley, maize, and rice, and is responsible for billions of dollars in economic losses worldwide each year. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Michigan said in a news release that the toxins the fungus produces can cause vomiting, liver damage, and reproductive defects in livestock and human beings. The attorney representing these people at their initial appearance had no comment. These people are shady characters. In a statement in the beginning of June of this year, the University of Michigan said it condemns any actions that seek to cause harm, threaten national security, or undermine the university's critical public mission. And they want to say, Trump won't let people in. He's violating their rights. Baby, they don't have any rights. They have to be scrutinized. And Marco Rubio is getting these people out of here. And he's revoking visas. Federal authorities say whether researcher, the federal authorities said neither of these researchers had a permit to import fungus. Bottom line, end of story. So one of them was accused of falsely claiming that she knew nothing about her partner smuggling or his intent to conduct research during his visit. Okay. Court filings show, that's what she said. The affidavit indicates the U.S. Department of Agriculture requires a permit for the importation of the fungus and that neither one of them ever applied for such a permit. Do we need anybody being the gatekeeper? Do we need anybody paying attention to our national security? I'm just pointing out a specific, very serious, potentially dangerous, potentially fatal scenario. And they just want to let them in. Trump's not playing with these people. An examination of electronic communications between these two characters shows that the two discussed the shipping of biological materials and research being done in the laboratory prior to one of their arrivals, according to the affidavit. Electronic evidence also shows that GN had been involved in smuggling packages of biological material into the United States on prior occasions. Does anybody need to be paying attention? Jian was allowed to enter the United States on a J-1 visa to conduct research as a postdoctoral scholar at a laboratory at the University in Texas, where she was a postdoctoral fellow from August of 2022 and August of 2023, according to the affidavit. Who's in charge of the country then? See, they were just letting anybody in. Come on in. Yeah, come on in. You're welcome. They were not vetting these people. There are a lot of details that have emerged that shows these people from China were doing pretty much what they wanted to do under the name of research. People simply have not been monitored in the past as it relates to our safety, a major national interest. The alleged actions of these Chinese nationals includes a loyal member of the Chinese Communist Party. And that's the gravest national security concern, according to Attorney Jerome Gorgon. Oh yeah, we gotta pay attention to this stuff, guys. Destroying America from within. This is what this boils down to. Stop foreign students from attending U.S. colleges. Listen, anybody can't come here just because you want to. We have to let American students achieve the American dream first. And as President Trump says, America first. It's common sense, guys. So, We've looked at the dynamics of what's going on here. Oh, yeah. Now, what we're going to spend a few minutes on here is our clinical perspective, which is safety. Safety and security. Our national security is crucial because it safeguards a nation's citizens, institutions, and interests from both internal and external threats. It's absolutely essential for protecting lives, maintaining sovereignty, and ensuring the overall well-being and prosperity of any nation. Without national security, guys, a country could be vulnerable to serious dangers, including military aggression, economic instability, and the erosion of its values and way of life. And if something goes down, the first thing they'll say, why wasn't Trump doing something about it? Well, he is. He is. And he don't care what people thinking about him. I love it. Here's a more detailed breakdown of why national security is so important. Protecting citizens and institutions. National security measures like law enforcement and border control aim to protect individuals and fundamental institutions like the government, infrastructure, and financial systems. What else is important? Maintaining sovereignty. A nation's security ensures its ability to govern itself and control its territory, free from external interference or coercion. Oh yeah, we're talking about maintaining sovereignty. What else do we need to be concerned about? Promoting prosperity. A secure environment, safe environments is essential for economic growth. Why? It allows businesses to thrive, investments to be made, and citizens to live and work without fear of violence or instability. Japan just announced that they're going to invest $550 billion in our nation. Do you think they want it to be safe? Apple is investing. The United Arab Emirates is investing. Listen, guys, safety and security is important to these people. Safeguarding values and way of life. What does that have to do with our national security and safety? National security helps protect a nation's culture, values, and democratic principles, ensuring that its citizens can live freely and pursue their goals without undue risk. What about maintaining international relations? A secure nation can engage in international diplomacy and trade with confidence, as it has the ability to defend its interests and what else? Negotiate from a position of strength. That is Donald Trump to a T. I saw him negotiating and talking with the president of the Philippines. It was stellar. It was beautiful. Listen, safety is crucial for several reasons, including preventing injuries and illness, protecting human lives, maintaining employee well-being, and ensuring productivity. It also plays a significant role in business reputation, legal compliance, and financial stability. When these people come in and they go on tours, I've been in settings like this. People want to invest in an entity. They want to go on a tour. You got to unfold that thing, lay it out, why you're stable, why you're compliant, how you're compliant, how you meet protocol guidelines. Like I work at a hospital, we have guidelines we have to meet to show that we are a reputable organization that has policies and procedures that connects to a governance board that gives us national credentialing. This stuff is important. It has to do with safety and national security. Now, let's take a more detailed look at the importance of safety. Let's just dissect another part of it. Protection of lives. Safety measures are vital for preventing accidents and protecting human lives in the workplace. This means reducing the risk of injuries, illnesses, and fatalities. What about employee well-being? Does anybody need to be paying attention to that? Prioritizing safety ensures a healthy and happy workforce. A safe environment supports employees' physical and mental health, leading to reduced stress and improved overall well-being. What about productivity and efficiency? A safe workplace is a productive workplace. When employees feel safe and secure and are not distracted by potential hazards, they can focus on their tasks, leading to improved efficiency and output. You know what it also contributes to? Reduced costs, because you have fewer accidents and illnesses. And that means less downtime, reduced healthcare costs, and lower workmen's compensation claims. Then there's legal issues, legal compliance. Many jurisdictions have laws requiring employers to provide safe workplaces, guys. Failure to comply can result in fines, penalties, and even legal action. There's reputation and trust. We're talking about safety. We're talking about national security. A safe, strong record enhances a company's reputation and builds trust within employees and customers and investors and stakeholders. Then there's a moral responsibility. It is morally right to ensure that workers, citizens return home safe and healthy each day. Then we have engagement and retention of employees, citizens. They're more likely to be engaged and stay with a company that values their safety and well-being. Then we got reduced stress and mental health. A safe environment can reduce stress and improve mental health, leading to a more positive work environment. What have we looked at tonight? Our national interests and how safety matters. Who's responsible to keep us safe? We are. And our elected officials are. So some people don't understand systemic operations and how it cannot be overlooked as it relates to our safety. No, President Trump isn't being hard and acting as a dictator, some people try to say. He's keeping our safety at the forefront of what he has to do. Listen, we're going somewhere. Yeah, yes, we are. It's expecting us when we get there. I want to give a shout out to Singapore, Finland, Australia, Africa, Egypt, the Constitutional Republic of the United States of America, who's downloaded the podcast. Guys, let me tell you something coming forward. I have asked people, they said they want to subscribe, and I've explored that and providing exclusive content to those that want to subscribe. You're going to support my efforts to what we're doing, and I'm going to be giving more information about that. Be looking on my website, JanicePons.com. Be looking on Facebook. I'm going to give you more information through Patreon. That's the avenue that I'm going to take. There are 3 different levels of subscription, and I've been doing some things, and I'm going to stretch out even more. It's been asked. It's been a request of you, the people, we, the people, my fellow Americans. So I'm going to pursue that. So you're going to support this, and we'll spread it even more. It's going around the world. That blesses me beyond measure. Remember, we are one nation under God. Be on the outlook for Patreon, in Facebook, on my social media platforms, on my website. And you can subscribe and support what I am doing. And there will be exclusive content. So we're going to dive into that. Thank you for your encouragement. I'm doing it because I was asked to do it. So I was like, well, let me look into that. Thank you. I appreciate that vote of confidence. So we're going somewhere. It's expecting us when we get there. We are one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, as we go, yes, us, together from destruction to dignity, clinical perspectives, spiritual truths. I will see you next week. God bless you. I'm praying for you. I love you. I appreciate you. See you next time. Good night.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of From Destruction to Dignity with Janice Pons. Janice's mission is to provoke thought, bring awareness, and point people towards intervention when needed. As a reminder, this show is not therapy, but for educational purposes only. For more information, check out JanicePons.com or follow her on social media.
We are one power, strength is ours, liberty, been set free, education, affirmation, dedication,